Somewhere in America today, somebody is about to spend $3,000 on a zero turn, and over the next few years, that one purchase can quietly cost them closer to 10. Not because they got robbed at the register. The sticker price was fair. It's everything that comes after that that never shows up on the tag. And this isn't some rare slip-up, it's one of the most common mistakes in the entire zero-turn market, and most buyers never even realize they made it. Here's the bill. $3,000 for the machine. Then the transmission gives out years early $800 to $2,500 to fix, if the part's even still made. Then the belts, the spindles, the deck mounts, you keep feeding it. And finally, the big one. The day it quits for good, and you go buy the mower you should have bought the first time. Add it up, and a $6,000 job just cost you $10,000. And almost none of it was bad luck. It traces back to one decision in the store, a single spec nobody told you to check. The salesman skipped it. The comparison videos skipped it. It's sitting right there on a sheet most buyers never flip to. So before you spend a dime, I'll show you exactly what that spec is, how it bleeds your wallet, and to 3 machines I'd put my own money on instead. We start under the seat with the one part that decides whether you maintain a mower or replace it. That spec I told you about? It's the Transaxle, the hydrostatic transmission, the sealed box of gears and pumps that actually drives the wheels. It rarely gets a single second in a sales pitch, and it's the one part that quietly decides whether your mower lasts 6 years or 16. Here's how to read it. Because it's a ladder, and most buyers don't even know they're standing on the bottom rung. At the entry level, you've got the Hydro Gear EZT. It's the most common transaxle on residential zero turns, and on paper it sounds fine: a 10cc pump, a 10cc motor, and internal mesh filter. The catch is what it leaves out. For years, these came sealed, with no real way to change the fluid. Hydro Gear's own manual flatly states the unit normally won't require servicing during the life of the machine, which is a polite way of saying you weren't meant to maintain it, just run it until it's done. Newer EZTs finally added optional drain ports so you can actually change the oil, a real improvement. But it's still Hydro Gear's entry residential unit, built for a smaller, lighter yard and an easy weekend. Step up one rung and you reach the ZT 2800. Hydro Gear calls it estate grade, and the difference is physical: a bigger 16cc motor, a unit rated to push up to 1,000 pounds of machine, and this is the part that matters: a genuinely serviceable design. With an external oil filter you can change yourself instead of a sealed box you can't. That serviceability is the whole point. A transaxle you can maintain is a transaxle that doesn't have to be thrown away. And if you want it tougher still, the 2800 can be ordered with optional shock valves and a charge pump. One more rung up is the ZT 3100 Hydro Gear's entry into the commercial grade. Same pump and motor displacement as the 2800, but the internals are built heavier duty for harder service. It carries the same external oil filter for fast maintenance, and then its performance package brings the 3 things that separate a machine that survives from one that doesn't: shock valves that absorb the pressure spikes that cook a transmission, a charge pump that keeps fluid circulating and cooler under load, and the one upgrade you simply can't get on the residential unit's durable cut steel gears in place of the standard ones. This is the unit you find on machines people run for a decade and barely think about. Now here's why this matters to your wallet, not just your spec sheet. When one of those bottom rung sealed units lets go, and on a hard-worked machine, you don't rebuild it. You replace the whole unit. A single transaxle starts somewhere around $700 to $800 in parts alone and runs past $1,000 on the bigger units, and once labor's on the bill, owners routinely report repair bills from $800 up past $2,000. Worse, on a lot of older entry-level machines, the exact replacement gets discontinued, so the fix is a brand new mower. That's line 2 of your bill, and it's the single biggest reason a $3,000 machine turns into a $10,000 mistake. And no, stepping up to a serviceable Transaxle doesn't double your price. It costs more at the register, but it's a fraction of what buying the same mower twice will cost you. So when you're standing in front of a row of these things, you do one thing before anything else. You find the Transaxle model on the spec sheet. EZT, you're on the bottom rung fine for a small flat yard, nothing more. ZT 2800 or 3100, now you're holding a machine built to be kept. But finding that number is only half the battle, because here's where the whole game gets sneaky. Two mowers can wear the same model name, sit side by side on the same showroom floor, and hide completely different guts underneath. And the swap they pull to make that happen is the dirtiest trick in this entire industry. So you've learned to find the Transaxle. Good. But here's the trap that catches even careful buyers. The name on the machine, the badge, the series, the model number tells you almost nothing about what's actually driving the wheels. Same brand, same series, but a different model or deck size, and you can be standing in front of two completely different Transaxles. The name stays the same because the name is what sells. What's bolted underneath is free to change, because that's where the company saves its money. Here's a real one you'll see on plenty of showroom floors. The Cub Cadet Ultima ZT2, pull up the spec sheet on the 54-inch, and you won't find a hydro gear unit at all. It runs a Tough Torque TZ 350. Now, Tough Torque isn't junk, it's the other major Transaxle supplier in this business, and to Cub Cadet's credit, they spec that one as serviceable, with its own oil reservoir and filter. But here's what almost no buyer knows. Tough Torque's lineup runs the entire range. At one end, serviceable units like that TZ 350. At the other end, light-duty sealed boxes like their K46 that most makers order without a drain port and label non-serviceable, with the filter buried inside a case you'd have to split open just to reach it. Tough Torque's own guidance on that unit is that a fluid change typically isn't even recommended. So seeing Tough Torque on a sticker settles nothing. Two machines can both wear that name, and one is built to be maintained while the other is built to be run until it quits. And this isn't just a bargain brand problem. Even a well-respected line like Skaggs Liberty Z leaves the factory with one of 3 different Transaxles. Depending on the exact model you grab, Skaggs lists them right on the page. A Tough Torque TZ 450 on some, a residential hydro gear ZT 2800 on others, and the commercial grade ZT 3100 on the big 61-inch. 3 different units. Same name on the side. And the part that decides each machine's lifespan isn't the same part. That's why the badge is a trap. Ultima, Liberty, ZT2, those are marketing words. The only things that tell you the truth are the exact Transaxle model and one small line on the sheet that says serviceable, yes or no. When most people walk up to a row of 0 turns, the instinct is simple: buy the biggest deck you can afford. More width, fewer passes, done faster right? On the right yard? Sure, on the yard most of us actually own, that instinct quietly charges you twice. Here's what the showroom won't tell you. A wide deck only pays off on wide, open, flat ground. Exmark's own sizing guidance says a 42-inch deck can mow about an acre per hour and points to 42 inches as a strong starting point for many medium-sized properties. It also warns that oversized decks become harder to maneuver around trees, landscaping, and tight corners. That's because deck size isn't just about productivity, it's also about maneuverability. Push out to 54 or 60 inches, and on a yard dotted with trees, flower beds, and fence lines, that big deck can become a liability. On uneven ground, decks that are too wide are more likely to scalp high spots. Around obstacles, they force wider turns and leave more trimming behind. Every patch the mower can't reach is a patch you now finish with a string trimmer. Exmark specifically notes that oversized decks can make mowing around obstacles more difficult and can scalp uneven terrain. And the time you were trying to save? Often smaller than buyers expect. Yes, a larger deck cuts more grass per pass, but on a tight suburban property filled with obstacles, the gains can shrink quickly as maneuvering and trimming increase. For many properties between roughly half an acre and an acre and a half, a 42 to 48-inch deck is often the practical sweet spot. Go bigger only when your property is large enough and open enough to actually benefit from it. But the costliest sizing mistake isn't width, it's terrain. And this one can cost you more than money. Every major manufacturer draws essentially the same line. Conventional residential lap bar zero turns are generally limited to slopes of about 15 degrees. Toro states it plainly in its safety guidance: stay off hills or surfaces steeper than 15 degrees. A 15-degree slope may not sound dramatic, but it works out to roughly a 27% grade. Here's the physics nobody explains at the register. The front wheels on a lap bar zero turn aren't driven or actively steered, they're free spinning caster wheels. On a hillside, especially on damp grass, those casters naturally follow the slope. If traction starts to disappear, the machine can begin to slide, and once traction is lost, your recovery options become very limited. That's one reason manufacturers are so strict about slope limits. Cub Cadet's own explanation of steering wheel zero turns points directly to the limitations of caster wheel designs on hills. So if your property regularly pushes beyond the slope limits recommended by manufacturers, a conventional residential lap bar zero turn is usually the wrong machine. A steering wheel zero turn, such as Cub Cadet's Synchro Steer models, gives the operator direct control of all four wheels and is rated for slopes up to 20 degrees. Depending on the terrain, a traditional lawn tractor may also be a better fit because it provides direct steering control through the front wheels rather than relying on caster wheels. Buy a mower for terrain it wasn't designed to handle. And sooner or later, you'll run into the consequences: reduced performance, reduced safety margins, or the cost of replacing it with the machine you should have bought in the first place. So let's add up the receipt, line by line, the way it often plays out for buyers who end up with the wrong machine. Because once you see the math, the title stops sounding dramatic and starts sounding predictable. Line 1. The mower itself. You walk into the dealership, buy the entry-level residential zero turn, and head home about $3,000 lighter. At the time, it feels like a win. Line 2. The repairs. Years pass. The mower works hard. Belts wear out. Spindles loosen up. Batteries die. Tires age. Then comes the expensive one, the transmission. If a sealed residential transaxle fails, replacement is often the only practical repair. Depending on the machine and the failure, owners can find themselves spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars just to keep an aging mower moving. Line 3, and this is the bill nobody sees coming: depreciation. A well-used residential mower with major mechanical problems is a tough sell by the time many owners are ready to move on. A machine that once cost thousands may be worth only a fraction of its original purchase price. And if it's carrying a failed transmission, the pool of buyers shrinks fast. Nobody gets excited about paying good money for someone else's expensive repair. Line 4. The replacement. Eventually, the old mower reaches the point where fixing it stops making financial sense. So now, older, wiser, and tired of repairing it, you go buy the mower you should have bought in the first place. A heavier-duty machine with serviceable transmissions, stronger components, and a design built around long-term ownership instead of the lowest possible sticker price. Now, total the column. The original purchase. Years of maintenance and repairs. The value lost to depreciation. Then the cost of replacing it with a better machine anyway. For plenty of owners, the total cost of that journey can approach 5 figures before it's over. That's the $10,000 mistake. Not one catastrophic repair bill, not a scam, not a conspiracy, just the slow, predictable cost of buying the wrong machine, maintaining it, losing value on it, and eventually replacing it with the machine that matched the job in the first place. And here's the part that should sting. Paying a little more for serviceable transmissions, heavier duty components, and a machine built to be maintained was never necessarily the expensive choice. In many cases, buying twice costs far more than buying well once. Who actually owns the name on the hood walk down the mower aisle, and it looks like a free market, a dozen proud names competing for your money? Cub Cadet, Troy built. Hustler, Gravely, Ariens, it feels like endless choice. The reality is more complicated. In December 2021, Stanley Black & Decker completed a pair of acquisitions that dramatically expanded its position in outdoor power equipment. The company acquired the remaining stake in MTD Holdings, the company behind Cub Cadet, Troy Built, Rover, Robomo, and several other brands, and also acquired Excel Industries, the maker of Hustler and Big Dog. So some of those competing brands sitting side by side on the showroom floor, same corporate parent, different badges, different marketing, different dealer networks, but ultimately the same company sitting above them. From the showroom floor, they look like rivals. From the corporate side, they're part of the same family. And it isn't just them. Ariens and Gravely, two names buyers often treat as competitors, are both owned by Ariens Co. That's one reason machines like the Ariens Apex and the Gravely ZTHD share so much DNA beneath the paint. Different colors. Closely related family tree. Consolidation doesn't automatically mean bad machines. Some of these parent companies build outstanding equipment. Some build budget equipment. Often they build both. That's the point. You shop by the spec sheet. And once you know where to look, it takes less than 90 seconds to learn everything the badge is hoping you never ask about. Here's the good news in all of this. The company will hand you the truth if you know which lines to read. Every machine on that floor comes with a spec sheet, and it can't hide behind marketing language. So before you spend $1, you run this check. It takes about 90 seconds, and it does what most comparison videos never bother to do. Number 1. The Transaxle. Find the drive unit by name. A Hydrogear EZT or another light-duty sealed Transaxle means you're looking at an entry-level machine perfectly fine for a smaller, flatter property. A Hydrogear ZT 2800 moves you into serviceable, estate-grade territory. A ZT 3100 moves into entry commercial territory, with heavier duty components and serviceability designed into the unit from the start. And right beside it, look for one word, serviceable. If the fluid and filter can be changed, the transmission can be maintained. If they can't, you're relying on the factory fill to last the life of the unit. Number 2, the deck. 2 things matter here. First, is it stamped or fabricated? A stamped deck is formed from pressed steel. A fabricated deck is built from welded steel plate. Neither automatically guarantees quality, but heavier fabricated decks are generally favored on commercial and heavy-duty residential machines because they're easier to repair and typically built for harder use. Second, check the steel gauge. This is where almost everybody gets confused. Gauge numbers run backward. The lower the number, the thicker the steel. 7 gauge is thicker than 10 gauge. 10 gauge is thicker than 11 gauge. Fabricated by itself isn't enough. Thickness matters too. Number 3, the spindles. The spindle assembly carries the blade, and it's one of the hidden indicators of how heavily a mower is built. Many residential machines use 5/8-inch spindle shafts, while heavier-duty residential and commercial machines often move up to larger shafts and bearings. Bigger components generally mean greater durability under heavy use, impacts, and long mowing hours. Number 4, the slope rating. Match the mower to the land you actually own. If your yard is mostly flat, almost any modern mower can work. If you have significant hills, manufacturer slope limits suddenly become one of the most important specs on the sheet. Most residential lap bar zero turns are limited to slopes around 15 degrees. Beyond that, traction, control, and safety margins begin to disappear. If your property regularly pushes beyond those limits, a steering wheel zero turn or a lawn tractor may be the better tool for the job. Buy for the yard you have, not the yard in the brochure. Number 5, the engine tier. Take Kawasaki as an example. The FR series is designed for residential use. The FS series steps into commercial duty applications. The FX series sits at the heavy-duty end of the lineup. But here's the part that saves buyers money. An FR isn't some fragile budget engine. For most homeowners, a properly maintained FR series Kawasaki can provide years of reliable service. The commercial lines bring upgrades in areas like air filtration, duty cycle, and overall durability under constant professional use advantages many residential owners will never fully utilize. Don't pay for a commercial engine unless your workload actually justifies it. Number 6, the warranty. And read the whole thing. Don't stop at the years. Find the hour limit sitting right beside them. A warranty that says 5 years may also say 750 hours, whichever comes first. The years tell you how long the company is willing to stand behind the machine. The hours tell you how much use they're willing to stand behind. Run those 6 checks and most of the showroom eliminates itself. The fog clears. Now let's talk about machines that actually pass the test. If you want the most machine for the money, start with the Gravely ZT-HD. Depending on deck size and configuration, it commonly pairs a commercial-grade Hydro Gear ZT-3100 transmission with a Kawasaki FR series engine and a heavy, fabricated deck. It's one of the few machines that consistently combines commercial-grade running gear with residential pricing. And here's the insider move: price it against the Ariens Apex. Both brands belong to Ariens Co., both share a significant amount of engineering, and both have historically offered ZT-3100 equipped configurations. Check the current specs, compare dealer pricing, and buy whichever gives you the better deal. Same family. Similar philosophy. Let them compete for your money. If comfort matters because you're mowing serious acreage, look at the Toro Titan My Ride. The headline feature is the MyRide suspension platform, which isolates the operator from much of the vibration and impact that normally gets transmitted through the chassis. The result is simple: less fatigue over long mowing sessions. Underneath, Titan models commonly feature serviceable hydrogear transmissions, fabricated iron-forged decks, and heavier-duty components than Toro's entry-level residential machines. If you're spending hours in the seat, comfort stops being a luxury and starts becoming a productivity feature. And if factory warranty coverage matters most, look closely at the Skag Liberty Z. Skag's homeowner warranty is among the strongest in the segment, but this is exactly where everything you've learned starts paying off. Don't buy the badge, buy the spec sheet. Depending on deck size and model configuration, Liberty Z machines have been offered with different transaxles, including tough torque and hydrogear options. So before signing anything, verify the exact transmission listed on the machine you're buying. That's the entire lesson of this video. Read the spec sheet. Confirm the components. Ignore the marketing. 3 machines, 3 different buyers. But notice what they have in common: serviceable transmissions, fabricated decks, and designs intended to be maintained rather than discarded. That's the game. Now here's the last thing I want to leave you with, because it's the cheapest line item on this entire receipt and the one most owners ignore. A serviceable transmission only stays serviceable if you actually service it. Change the fluid. Change the filters. Follow the maintenance schedule. On the engine side, Kawasaki's maintenance schedule calls for regular oil and filter service, and experienced owners know that clean oil is cheaper than engine parts. And don't ignore the cooling fins and screens. Grass, dust, and debris trap heat, and heat shortens the life of almost everything mechanical. None of those jobs cost much money. And that's the difference between buying a mower once and buying it twice. If this kind of teardown is useful to you, the kind that starts with the spec sheet instead of the marketing brochure, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.